Chapter 1. The Cunning Canid. All across North America, people's perspectives of coyotes are unfortunately influenced by hyperbolic myths and misunderstandings. A deeply rooted, nationally perpetuated disdain of this species, I believe, is the foundation of the lack of proper public education regarding coyote interaction and welfare, and an absence of substantial research to inform that education. Fact 1. Not all coyotes live in packs. Some of the most common misconceptions that people have concerning coyotes are related to their hunting strategies, prey choice, i.e. believing that they prefer eating humans just as much as every natural prey species, and their social structures. For example, most people subscribe to the belief that all coyotes live in packs. Fact 2. Coyotes do not hunt by ambush. So, when they encounter a coyote in the wild, they think that there are always other coyotes lying in wait to ambush. Not only is this false of coyotes, but of most canid species. Such ambush tactics are more characteristic of felids, who arrange members of the hunting groups around herds or an individual animal. Fact 3. Coyotes do not hunt humans. Nevertheless, it is highly unlikely to be stalked and hunted by a coyote as a human being, as we do not fit their predator search image, something we'll discuss in later chapters. For starters, let's first establish what a coyote looks like. Much of the fear responses induced by coyote sightings and interactions are informed by a psychological exaggeration of what the animal actually looks like. In urban areas, after someone has experienced a coyote encounter, the most common exclamation is, "It was huge." Fact 4. Coyotes are not that big. They're only the size of a German shepherd. It's their fluffy coats that make them look big. In reality, coyotes on the West Coast are not much different in size than the average German shepherd. Their bodies are normally 28 to 31 inches long from head to tail and stand at a height of 21 to 24 inches tall at shoulder height. Their huge appearance is due almost exclusively to the thickness and poof of their coat, since they only weigh between 20 to 50 pounds. Fact 5. Coyotes on the East Coast are larger than those on the West Coast. Why did I specify West Coast, you ask? Coyotes outside of southwestern U.S., particularly those on the East Coast, tend to be quite a bit larger than western coyote due to hybridization with wolves on the East Coast. But that's another matter for another time. Fact 6. Coyotes have been observed to mate with critically endangered red wolves in North Carolina. If you scan across a coyote's body a bit more thoroughly, you'll notice that their lankiness, despite a puffy coat, is given away by their extremities. These canines have long, skinny legs that are meant to carry them at a relaxed, trotting pace across long distances. They're donned in a tawny-colored coat to assist their camouflaging capabilities in habitats from Joshua tree forests to the pine outcroppings of the desert's mountains to the stretching expanses of southwestern prairies. The coyote is known also by its massive ears, sitting atop its head like two big satellites. These ears allow the coyote such sharp hearing that they can track their prey even when it's underground. Fact 7. Coyotes can hear their prey in their burrows underground. Their narrow, elongated muzzle is the perfect tool to carry their haunting howls across vast expanses of land as they sing to connect with brothers, sisters, and parents. Their tails tend to confuse many people when it comes to identifying this species, as they are all very bushy, extending to about 12 to 16 inches long. Fact 8. Coyotes' tails are not as expressive as dogs' tails, although they do still wag. Watching the coyotes over long periods will quickly reveal that the tail is quite lacking in expression, quite opposite to dog and cat tails that wag, rise, fall, and stiffen at every change of mood. Although they do still wag. At night, the moonlight shines on the coyote's eyes to reveal an eerie greenish-yellow eye shine. Fact 9. Coyotes' and other animals' eye shine is caused by something known as the tapetum lucidum. This reflects light to the pupil, helping them see at night. This animal is the quintessential symbol of Western living. Fact 10. Coyotes come in a wide variety of colors, from sandy brown to black. Just as there are differences in physical appearance between western and eastern coyotes, smaller populations can display a variety of color morphs as well. For instance, coyotes can be anywhere from a grayish shade, some can be so dark that they appear to be black, to a light pale tawny. These colors tend to form a gradient when observing populations from the northern United States to the south, in that order, and darken from a tan to a dark brown laterally across the country from west to east. Interestingly, though, hybridization has affected this aspect of the coyote's physical appearance. Coyotes on the East Coast are being observed more frequently to have red coats. Fact 11. Coyotes are the most adaptive canids in the world. Coyotes are one of the most adaptable mammals in the entire world. Even among the smaller circle of canids, these animals are referred to as nearly the most ecologically plastic species in the taxa, plastic meaning flexible, adaptive. This plasticity has allowed coyotes to spread across a majority of the North American continent over the last century. Fact 12. Despite human destruction of natural landscapes, coyotes have thrived in man-made habitat. While many other species have seen their home ranges dramatically reduced due to rapidly increasing rates of human encroachment, the coyote has instead reaped the benefits of the changing landscape. Their range has expanded outside of where they were once restricted, in the western two-thirds of North America, to the north, stretching up into Canada and all the way to the Atlantic. Research has revealed that, in only about 70 years, coyotes have expanded their geographic range by 40%. Fact 13. Coyotes live across the entire continent of North America, from Canada down to just above Central America. This is more than twice that of any other North American carnivore during the same period. In fact, the spatial distribution of coyote specimens dating back to the late 1800s was similar to that of coyotes in 300 BP. The data indicates that the species was established in the West far before the 1700s, contrary to the widespread belief that coyotes expanded westward as recently as the 19th and 20th centuries. Fact 14. Coyotes expanded their natural home range faster than any other carnivore in North America. How did they accomplish such a population boom, you may be wondering? There are many physiological, ecological, and anthropogenic, human-sourced, human-caused, reasons why the coyote was able to spread so widely and in such a short time. Fact 15. Coyotes were able to spread across the continent so rapidly because of the other native predators being killed en masse. 1. Many large species that would normally compete with coyotes for resources, food, space, etc., were extirpated. This means the species was driven nearly to extinction from many areas of the North American landscape. This resulted in the disappearance of animals like wolves, the mountain lion, and the jaguar, freeing up opportunities for exponential growth. 2. As humans expanded their presence throughout the country, they converted natural habitat to agricultural land, creating suitable coyote habitat where there originally was none. Fact 16. Human destruction of natural habitat actually benefited coyotes, giving them just the habitat they needed to thrive. Once coyotes were able to expand into new territories, they encountered species that they previously had little access to. Because these species were also facing extreme ecological pressures, their natural behavior had been compromised, making them inclined to highly unusual behaviors. In recent years, this has manifested in coyotes hybridizing with red wolves. The red wolves' critically endangered status makes this a massive threat to their persistence as a species. Fact 17. Coyotes evolved between 3 to 5 million years ago, far before humans, even indigenous peoples, set foot on the land. The bottom line is, coyotes were established in a large portion of the North American continent, mostly in the western half, far before Europeans ever set foot on this land, and far before indigenous people as well. Although the boundaries of this habitat are not clearly known, these animals could have lived as far east as southern Wisconsin, northwestern Indiana, western Arkansas, and central Texas. Researchers have fortunately uncovered further biogeographic data from coyote remains dated back to earlier than 4000 BCE that confirm the presence of the species across the Americas. They have been confirmed to be historically present as far as Arkansas and central Texas, down to the Yucatan Peninsula, and as far west as California. What's more is that these same records predate the rise of even some of the oldest ancient North and Central American civilizations, characterized by large, permanent architectural feats. These civilizations include the Olmec, Aztec, Mayan, and Mississippian people groups. This means that coyote expansion throughout North and South America was quite natural, stretching back to the beginning of the Holocene before humans began constructing what is regarded as the beginning of modern civilization. Still, that doesn't mean that they didn't get any help from recent migratory populations. Fragmented landscapes from deforestation and ever-growing agricultural land certainly aided in the continued expansion of coyotes in the 1900s.